Alrighty, I just wanted to give you some information real fast and kind of walk you through what is expected and how you should be doing these outlines for the mock congressional hearings, okay? So first thing right up here, just leave this as it is. Right here, the resolution is going to be what you are arguing during this debate, okay? What is the topic of the debate? For example, it's going to be Peter the Great was not a great reformer. Instead, he was a brutal dictator of Russia, okay? That would be your resolution right here. So make sure you have the resolution here. You need to have the resolution in mind at all times when you're writing this. Otherwise, you're going to kind of possibly dive down a little trail that you really don't want to go on. Make sure you are sticking to the resolution, sticking to the topic at hand. A thesis right here, you want to make a thesis, which is simply going to be the argument you are going to be making as you go through these hearings, as you go through and write your introductory speech. It is important that you make sure your arguments stick to the thesis. Again, make sure your thesis is not in first person. You're outlining a strong argument. Okay, make sure it's not too broad, so you're not going specifically into details. Make sure that it is not too vague, so that you can kind of just go wherever. I guess the same kind of thing. Okay, but make sure it's also not too specific to the point where you cannot actually write arguments as you are going through. Okay. So once you have all that stuff written in there and you can see it there, you know your resolution, you know your thesis, and you're going to make sure you're sticking to your resolution and your thesis. This is where you're going to start when it comes to the argument stage, okay? Argument number one, you're going to have your first little argument going right here. And this can be pretty much anything that you can think of that is going to support your thesis, okay, and it is going to support your resolution. Now, one thing I will say with this, when you are writing your thesis, most likely you're going to have it because you can't spell C-A-U-S of point A, B, and C. Now, what you should be doing on this one, okay, point A right here, I'm going to do some coloring on here so you can see it, okay, make it orange right here. Argument A is probably going to be the first thing that you are going to be speaking about right in here, okay? Argument B, if you look on this right here, let's make this one green, should be being talked about right here, okay, in green. And then subpoint C, second, third part of your thesis right here, let's make it purple just because I like the color purple, is going to be what you're going to be talking about down here in this section of your thing, okay? So make sure your thesis and your arguments all relate to one another. If they do not, you either need to change your thesis or you need to make sure your arguments are more on track in what's going on, okay? The next thing you should be doing is subpoint A, okay? Subpoint A is going to be an argument that's going to back up what you were talking about in argument one. It's going to basically give you evidence for your argument, okay? This is the evidence, E-V-I-D-E-N-C-E, evidence right through here. Do this one, okay? Do not do this yet. Don't do yet, okay? That is important. Make sure you do not do subpoint A1 yet. Same with subpoint B1 and subpoint C1. These are going to come in later, and we'll tell you why in just 1 second. So first off, okay, go ahead and give your brief little bullet point version of evidence right here that are going to support argument one right here. I would also highly, highly, highly recommend cite all of your sources in here as well. So we do parentheses just like this, CNN, okay? Something that'll tell me exactly where your evidence comes from. This is going to make you have a stronger argument. Additionally, when it comes time for you to actually write your argument, you can know exactly where you get your stuff from, okay? Subpoint B, again, same kind of thing. More evidence to back up argument number one. Subpoint C, more argument to back up argument number one. Okay, now this part right here is important. Make sure you're paying attention, know what's going on. I'm going to do this in a darker color, okay? So right here, subpoint A is evidence to back up argument number one. I want you to think of a possible rebuttal to argument or subpoint A right here, because I'm going to make these two the same color because they're going to go together. I want you to think of something that can be used to counter what is being said here in subpoint A. Make sure that it counters and it makes sense, okay? So this is going to be a bit of evidence that's going to hurt this evidence here. It's going to attack this evidence here, okay? You're going to do the same kind of thing here with subpoint B. I'm going to highlight this one just so you can visually see what's going on. Let's make this blue color right through here. And rebuttal to, okay, right here. Rebuttal to B is going to be an argument, a way of you attacking, okay, different shades of blue, that's okay. A way of you attacking subpoint B, and then you're going to do the same with rebuttal to C as a way of you attacking subpoint C. Now is what you should do is you should go back to subpoint A and you should find a different bit of evidence, something that is stronger or that counters the rebuttal down here. So you're going to have subpoint A. You still want to keep subpoint A here, but you already realize there's going to be some problem with subpoint A that you've already been able to counter and attack, meaning subpoint A is probably not the strongest bit of argument that, or bit of evidence that you have. Subpoint A1 should be evidence that you have that's going to, again, support argument number 1, but it's also going to attack and be able to get rid of this rebuttal to A, okay? You should be to the point when you do this, basically all of these things right here, these rebuttals, should be countered by subpoint A1, subpoint B1, subpoint C1. It's a way of writing strong evidence into your case that is going to support what you're saying, making it stronger as you move forward, okay? Once you finish up with subpoint A1, move on to subpoint B1 based off rebuttal to B, and then subpoint C1 based off rebuttal to C. Do not go about and delete subpoint A, subpoint B, or subpoint C. You want to make sure and keep those in there. That's going to be important to have because you might be using that evidence later on, but just know that it's there, and you want to focus more on subpoint A1, subpoint B1, and subpoint C1. After this, okay, you should move on to argument number 2 right here, subpoint A, subpoint B, subpoint C. Again, more evidence backing up argument number 2, and then you are going to go find the rebuttal to A, rebuttal to B, rebuttal to C, and then go back to subpoint A1, okay, which is a counter argument more or less, more evidence backing up subpoint A, but that is going to take into account possible rebuttal's way of attacking that argument. You'll also go about and do that for argument number C. Now, when you're in groups of 3, my recommendation is to develop a thesis together that you would like to do as a group. Make sure your thesis is strong, that you come together as a group, and then break this up. Don't spend all of you or everyone have spending the same amount of time on argument 1. Have one person work on argument 1, one person work on argument 2, and then another person work on argument 3. Go about and do that. If you have a person in your group who's not going to work, my recommendation is let them fail. They're going to learn the hard way on this. You are going to be doing peer reviews as well. So don't necessarily worry about focusing on the other people. Worry about yourself. Worry about getting this stuff done. If you have any questions or problems on that, you know how to get a hold of me. This is going to be the outline. If you have any questions, please comment down below or shoot me an email. Get that taken care of. Have a great time and see you later.